friend, it's Katie and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So you can subscribe, the button is always down below. Post videos, stop panning, and more. And in today's video, I'm gonna be doing my update for my Panthos shadows. Finally, I feel like videos have just been a struggle these past few weeks and stuff, but that's okay, life happens. But yeah, this is me, my Panthos shadows update, which is crazy because I feel like I just updated. Like, it really does feel like I just updated. I don't know, maybe it's just my consistency or whatever, but you know, we try, we live and stuff. So this will be my second update for the Panthos shadows and I'm really excited about it. I will have a few rollouts this month, so excited for that. And yeah, if you missed my intro, I would go back and watch that, just because I'm doing my Panthos shadows differently this year and differently from other people's and stuff. I do have kind of, I guess, a different layout. I love how I laid it out and stuff for this year, but it is a little different. So I would go watch my intro because everyone's doing theirs differently, but I'm especially doing mine differently and stuff. But just this video concept, everyone does it differently, and it was branched off of, like, I feel like everyone does this, but it was branched off of Ipsy. She kind of started this and everyone has branched off and made it into their own, which is what I love about this type of video, because it's like everyone might do it, but some might do it differently. So basically for mine, I have 6 shadows in, and then so 3 of my shadows are randomly generated. 2 come from Makeup Lady. If you follow her, she has a spreadsheet, and so I use 2 of her prompts. And then I get a pick, and then I also randomly generate a shadow from my palette of the year. I do have a focus palette, so I will generate, so I have like about 7 shadows, but I have a little complication with one of them because I kind of forgot about that part of it, which I'm gonna kind of address in this video and stuff, because, you know, I feel like it needs to be talked about. But anyways, that was a launch spiel. It didn't need to be a launch spiel, so let's just get right into it. Okay, so I'm gonna start out with the actual shadow prompts that I get from Lainey, from her spreadsheet, which always all the information and all the things you need to know are linked down below. But the first prompt from her was an indie shadow, and this one I have used only twice. I know such a like not like totally not like great, but you know, some usage is better than no usage, and this is what it's looking like. Probably like no progress, no change. I've only used this twice, like I've said, but you know, no progress is better than 0 progress. So I do still have 18 uses left with this. It is a very pretty shadow and stuff. It's very pretty, but I just haven't really used this. This is Sydney Grace Red Chameleon. I believe in one of my videos I might have called it Terra Moons, but this is definitely Sydney Grace Red Chameleon. And I haven't used this much. It's duochrome. It kind of looks like I don't know what you'd call this color, but it definitely looks like a pretty like reddish brown type of shimmer. I don't know what you would call it, but it is pretty, but I still need to use it more. I don't really have much to say, but you know, I'm happy to like be working on indie shadows, because the other one is also an indie shadow, ironically, and this one is for the prompt reminds me of winter, and I've been wearing this a ton. This is Call Me from Terra Moons, and I don't know if you guys can tell, I don't know if the camera will focus in on this, but I do have a dip in this. There is a dip. It is so hard to show, but I think you can sort of tell that there's a dip. It's really hard to tell, but maybe I can take like a picture and show you guys, which I will update my pictures on these. But I don't know, I can tell there's a dip, but I have used this 11 times, so I have 9 more uses with this, and I'm really excited about that. I feel like I could have possibly hit pan or roll this out in the next update. I feel like that's very possible because I love this as an inner corner highlight. As you can see, I have another shade. It's a highlight that's also similar to this I've been using and from another project, but I love using this one. And even though there's a dip, I don't know like if I will. Like, I want to think that I'll hit pan in the next update because there's a dip, but I always just use my fingers, so I feel like it's not as likely. I don't know. I'm not gonna say no, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know where I'm going with my words today, but we'll see. There is a dip, and I'm happy about that, and we have 9 more uses, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the next randomly generated shadow, which was ironically from my Focus palette. And so next I had Half Baked in here. This is ironically randomly generated in, and this is what it's looking like. I feel like there's pretty much minimal to no progress. Like I've definitely hit like goal usages and stuff. Like I've definitely, I've definitely like advanced with it. I don't know what to call it, but I've definitely worked with it because I've used it 7 times, so I have 13 more uses. And I want to hit pan. I do. I believe I've hit pan on this shade in another project last year. I think I did do that. But we'll see what happens. That's what it looks like. It looks like I've used it, and then you can definitely tell that it's like lower than the other shadows. Like you can definitely tell that it's well loved. But yeah, I still have 13 more uses. We'll see what happens. We'll see if I hit pan before those 13 uses, or if I'm able to hit some usage. Because this is my Focus palette, I am like leaning more towards like using shades up and that kind of stuff, but we'll see what happens. And then also in this palette, this was the shade I randomly generated as my focus shade in this palette, and this is YDK from obviously the Naked 2 palette, and I've made pretty good progress on this. I feel like I've definitely got rid of it on the sides. It's all pretty much like on the 2 corners. So we're looking good with that. I have used that one 9 times, so we have 11 more uses with that one. I might just keep it in until I use it up because there really isn't that much left. I'm debating on repressing it. I don't love doing that, so we'll see if I actually do that. I might wait a little bit to repress it, but I definitely want to continue to get away from the sides. I do have a little bit more here to get away from the sides, but we'll see what happens. And I'm excited with that shade. That used to be my go-to shade like in high school or like college, so it's nostalgic. Okay, so we do have 2 rollouts this month, which is exciting. So I have used both these shades 20 times. So we're gonna start with vanilla. I feel like you can see progress because compared to the other shades, like especially that one and looking at this one, you can tell that the imprinting, the DC, is like not as opaque. Like you can definitely tell these ones have been like hardly touched and stuff, so you can definitely see that it's imprinted. And actually there is a little bit of pan showing. Like it's literally so small, but there is a little part that if I would use this a couple more times, which I already used this like 21, 22 times, because after I hit my goal, I just stopped keeping track of how many times I used it. But you can definitely see a little bit of pan. I'm gonna try and take a picture and I'll post it on the screen so you guys can see, because it's really hard to show you like right here, but I did hit my goal for that one. Yeah, you can see right there the little bit of pan. So I honestly would consider that pan, even though it's not like huge pan, but we kind of did hit pan. And I mean, I'm sure if I use this a couple more times, I could really get that showing, but wow, that's kind of weird. Because it's just such a small, like, it's literally just a sparkle of pan. And then the next one is the shade next to it, which is my pick. This is the caramel shade. This is a really good shade to like use for the crease inner corner, for like warming up the lids, for the crease, for definition. I really liked using it, and I feel like I have imprinted that as well. Definitely didn't hit pan or anything, but I feel like the progress on that is pretty good. So both of those shades will be rolling out. Okay, so another, like I did originally have 7 shades in because I wanted to do like 3 randomly generated, 2 from Lainey's like prompt list, and then I wanted to do like my pick, so that's 6, and then I had one from, and then I had the randomly generated from the Focus palette, and then I also, I don't know why, but I added in this shade, but I just wanted to kind of like address this because I forgot to update it because apparently I didn't write it. But this is where this is looking like. I believe I only used it a couple times, but I think having 8 shadows in this project is a little much. So I'm just gonna stick to like the 3 randomly generated, the 2 from Lainey's prompt list, have my pick and then randomly generate, because I think that's enough. And also, I don't know, I just wasn't crazy about having this in, so I am technically rolling this out, but I just realized I have too many shadows in this project, so that's kind of why. But who knows, maybe that'll roll in, because we are gonna have 2 roll-ins this month. I will get to pick one of them though. So yeah, I just realized though I have to update my spreadsheet, so I'm gonna go do that. Okay, so I updated my spreadsheet and now I have 640 shadows in there, which is absolutely crazy to me. So I am gonna randomly generate one number, and then of course I will get to pick the other number, or not pick the other number, but I will get to pick what shadow I roll in, which depending what randomly generates will depend on what I roll in. So I just rolled the number, but the number is 123 Dusty Rose from the Sultry palette, which I'm actually, or from the Self Glam palette, which I'm very excited for. And I think I already know what shade I want to randomly roll in. So yeah, so I'm gonna go pull those and then I'll be right back. Okay, so my shades have been selected. And honestly, I thought Dusty Rose, so this is Dusty Rose. I thought we were rolling in that shade. That's okay. It'll actually be fun to play with Dusty Rose and stuff. Like, I think it'll be a fun shade to play with. So we have Dusty Rose. That's what that one looks like. And yeah, that actually might be a fun shade to play with. I don't necessarily think I'll hit pan, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And I actually haven't used this palette in a bit, so that'll be fun. And then I decided to roll in a shade from the Chocolate Bar palette, which is one of my oldest palettes. I think this is probably my 3rd oldest palette. And stuff, and I have lots of pan in here, lots of usage and stuff, because this is the palette I used like in the beginning of college. And I want to roll in the shades Salted Caramel. I did at the time write all the shades on here since they didn't come on here. I think now they do in this palette because they've updated it. But this is like a nice warm brown, and I actually haven't used it in a bit, so it'll be fun to play with. So of course, like every other goal for shadows, 20 usages. It's gonna be 20 uses or hit pan, and I have like minimal usage on both of those. Well, I have used Salted Caramel a lot, so I could definitely see myself hitting pan more, but we'll see. Kind of want to swatch all of them to show you guys the color story. So this is the color story this month. I actually really like it, and I think it'll be fun to play around with. I think they're like pretty, I think that's pretty nice. So excited about that. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I definitely think I could hit pans, if not possibly hit goals again next month, but we'll kind of see what happens. But if you guys enjoyed this panel of shadows, if you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below. Comment down below like how your projects are going, and of course let me know what videos I want to see next, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I am so close to 500 and I'm so excited, so would love to hit that, of course. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Jesus, Katie. Did I just shatter one of my shadows? Yes. Yes, I did. The hell, Katie? Did I just drop that? Yes. Am I just gonna ignore there's eyeshadow on my ground right now? Yes, I am.